Welcome back everyone. Today we are focusing on Christmas and the holidays. You always know what to do as a main, but you never really think about the sides. But today we're going to make sure that the sides are shining. We're going to make a dish that's inspired by Joël Robuchon, who was one of the most starred chefs in the world. Passed away a couple years ago, and he was very famous for his mashed potato. So today, this is what we're doing. So let's go. Okay, let's start with the potatoes. So our friends at Cookstown Greens dropped us some beautiful potatoes. So what do you want for a mashed potato? It's a potato that's actually starchy. How do you know that? You know that floury texture that you get sometimes from potato? That's the type of potato you're looking for. The reason why is the other kind is going to be way more elastic, and then you're going to have something that's very stringy and not pleasant. So we're going to take a pot, we're going to take our potatoes, put them in the pot, and we're going to cover them with cold water, very important, and a lot of salt. So let's do that first. So we want to make sure that the potatoes are more than covered, so there's enough room. They're going to cook for about a half hour. Water is going to reduce, so don't be shy to put a lot of water for the amount of potatoes and a lot of salt. They are fairly large, and we cook them, something you'll notice, we cook them with the skin. You could also peel them, cut them up, it's okay, but for the best result, you really want to have them cooked skin on and full. The reason why, the water is not going to penetrate inside the potatoes, and you're not going to have any moisture. We'll end up with a better result. I'm just going to crank the heat open, and we're going to cover it, and I will probably cook, like I said, for about a half hour. While this is cooking, we're going to make an infusion. So in a pot, I'm going to add 50% cream and 50% milk. Okay. Then I'm going to add some garlic, probably about 4 cloves. Actually, they're pretty small, so we're going to go with 6. We're just going to crush them. You can leave the skin on because we need to pass the liquid after. Right into the pot. Then we're going to add some rosemary and thyme. Once again, you can infuse with whatever you want. This is what I really like for that dish. And then I have some nutmeg. I'm going to add that as well. So that's going to give a little extra nuttiness into the dish. Butter. Softened butter. You could either, there's 2 ways to do this. Either you incorporate it like that, or you infuse it with your cream. I prefer to actually do it separately so that we can really control and not split the mash. So at this point, we're just going to put the heat on. Let that infuse for about 10 minutes after it comes to a simmer. We're going to let that cook, and I'll join you when that is happening. Okay, we are now going to check our potatoes. So I don't know if they're cooked. We're going to take our knife, put it in the potato, and if the knife slides back out, you know it's cooked. So I'm just going to drain them. And we're going to peel them off. You can wait about like 10 minutes until they cool down a little bit because it is really hot. But all we want is just to kind of like score the potato, and it will just peel off easily. There we go. Look at these beautiful potatoes. And I'm gonna put that aside, and I'm gonna repeat the process with the other ones. So we are now going to rice our potatoes. You could use a potato masher, but I really recommend to use a ricer. You'll buy them now and it will last forever. You can give it to your kids and your grandkids. It's really solid. So we're gonna take the potato, and we're just gonna cut it into like little pieces so it's easier. And just rice it away. As you can tell, it's not made for lefties, but you can do it that way. It's not really meant to be that way, but. And then we repeat the process with the other potato. Okay, now that we have riced our potato once, we're going to put it in there, where we are going for the best mash. So we have a second step. We're gonna use a tammy or a sieve. It's a really, really fine mesh, something you would use to sieve flour through. And we're gonna take our potato and we're gonna pass it. So it really is going to eliminate all the little grainy pieces that the potato still has after we riced it. It's fairly easy to do. Just use a spatula and then push it down. And here we go. So now we're just gonna just tap it and remove the exit. So now we're left with a super fine mash. From here, we're just gonna work it. So it's already, you can see the texture, it's already very smooth. You can tell, but we haven't added anything yet. So we're gonna take some butter, not a small amount. We're going for a really rich, creamy potato. And we're just gonna mix it all with the butter. And it's gonna be luscious and get a nutty flavor from the butter. Again, the highest quality butter, the better. Look at that, it's already being so shiny and beautiful. We already have an amazing product. You can see a luscious and beautiful, smooth, probably one of the best mash you'll ever had, but we're not done yet. So obviously you have like a firm texture, but we're looking for something a little more loose, a little more creamy and runny. So I'm gonna take some of my mix and I'm gonna add a little bit. You wanna really add little by little because you don't want it to be too runny at the same time. And we're gonna be gentle and fold the dairy in. There's no right or wrong. There's not a recipe. The potatoes are all different based on the season, based on where they're from. So you're really gonna have to make a mixture and then add as you go. So you can see it's starting to loosen a little bit. I'm gonna add a little more. If you are dairy intolerant, this is not the dish for you. Okay, so now we have a beautiful, luscious, delicious mashed potato. Wow. The one thing left is the seasoning. Obviously, we've been adding a lot of ingredients, so we're gonna rectify the seasoning with a bit of salt. Give it one more little stir. Again, based on your preference, you could add less or more cream, depending on what you want. But I like to have a little bit of texture in my mash still. And now I'm just gonna give it a little taste test. Look at that, so shiny. It's really good. You can really taste the potato, which is very important. Sometimes you have mashed potato, but you don't really know what you're eating. You can taste the potato, and that's because of the high quality potato to begin with. It needs a little more salt. You could also do some cracked pepper. It's optional. I don't really like the black pepper, seeing it in the mash, but you could do that. Just gonna give it another try. Here we are. We just entered heaven. Mashed potato heaven. And that is it. That's really all you need. Good quality ingredients, good potato. And now with the proper seasoning, I can really taste the flavor from the cream, the nutmeg, the herbs, the fattiness from the butter, that nutty taste, and the potato just tastes amazing. What a great dish, and what a great side dish you can pair all your holiday with. So excited. Christmas is around the corner. All right, now let's take the beautiful mash and put it onto a plate. So we're just gonna try to get as much as possible. Like so. Don't want to waste anything. And I'm gonna smooth it out. Try to create a dome. And if you want to be extra fancy, you can even create a little design. There you go. And then from here, we have a beautiful mashed potato. And if you like this recipe, please like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, if you allow me, I feel like I'm a 10-year-old boy again. This is so good. See you soon.